Welcome to Awaken, a space where truth is not only allowed, it is honored. My name is Zainab Hamid, and I created this podcast to bring voice to the parts of us that have long been silenced. The parts that question, feel deeply, and want something more meaningful from life. This isn't a space for perfection, it's a space for presence. Take a deep breath and let whatever needs to be said rise. There are certain places in life that should never include confusion. Love is one of them. And this topic came to me today because I noticed how confusion showed up, not just in relationships, but in work, in boundaries, in time, in energy. When effort keeps meeting resistance, when openness isn't met with clarity, when you start questioning yourself instead of the situation. This isn't bitterness, this is awareness. So today this topic came up because I think I was asking myself a question: where does my clarity come from? And my clarity I always looked for clarity from the outside world. I looked for clues of love if somebody loved me. I looked for clues towards the way I felt about myself. I looked for clues in everything to decode if somebody really cared about me or not. And it made me really reflect on that. I sat down and I was like reflecting on what does clarity really mean to me and where does it come from. And I think when you live in so much honesty for yourself, you're expecting that from the people around you. And some people are just not like that. For me, I'm so free when it comes to expressing how I care about somebody. I let my words get the best of me. And I've given those words to many people, that needed them. I've left a trail of written words by Zainab Hamid. I've left a trail um, for people who needed that in the moment, who needed that. Um, and there's so much, and every single time I've written something for someone, it's always been from my heart in that moment, what I really felt. And so I'm always extremely clear about how I feel. I could, because I know how I feel. I can name it without being afraid of it. And I think for so long we felt like, for so long, or so many people, I should say, feel like they have to be afraid of their own clarity, or they have to be afraid of making a move or taking a step, or expressing themselves fully to because they fear getting hurt, which I was there before. And I feel like the biggest hurt is really allowing yourself to hide that love that you feel, or to let it kind of bury you, right? Because if you're not expressing it, you're suppressing it. And if you're not expressing it, you're letting it just sit in your body, right? And I'm not that type of person. I'm the type of person, if I miss you, I'm going to watch you, or I'm going to talk to you, or I'm going to say something to you. And I'm not afraid of showing that to the entire world. I can care less about how that makes me look. I'm just saying how I feel. I'm just doing what I want, and nobody's going to tell me otherwise. I just want to do what I want to do. And in that moment, it's just like That's my way of expressing myself. And I don't think, I think my biggest riff with other people is, why don't you choose to express yourself in that way too, and be free with your choices, and be free with what you want to say and how you want to say it. Like, your suppression is only hurting you, because you're never going to get what you want and how you want it if you suppress what you feel. It's you're not going to be free. You're not going to live in freedom, and you're not going to live in truth. So it's not really about, does somebody care about me, or does somebody love you, or does somebody, all these things. It's like, what do you, it's about, do you feel that? Do you feel loved? Do you feel cared for? Do you feel like you're being heard? Do you feel like you're being seen? Right? And if it's a no to those questions, then there's not enough clarity. And confusion is going to live, and confusion is going to divide. And it's, as long as it divides, there's no unity, and there's no companionship, and there's no truth, and there's no love. Love doesn't confuse. Love is so pure. It's real. You can't help but express it if you really feel it, if it's the truth of how you feel. And that's the way that I see it. Because if it's the truth, there would be no hesitation. If it's the truth, it would be clear. If it's the truth, it's going to be straightforward in your face. There's no moment that you would want to live in without expressing that feeling. Okay? And so, I mean, it's really that easy. It's really that easy to just, and then you have to sit with yourself, and you have to ask this question: why am I not expressing myself? Or why am I not being clear? Or why am I not, whatever the case may be? Because you're the only one that can hold that answer. We give ourselves our own clarity. If there's something that's not working out in our lives, we have to look at what part we are playing in that. Because sometimes it's us, sometimes it's me, sometimes it's you, sometimes it's whatever. And if it's me, I will tell you it was me. I will say, this doesn't, I'm sorry, but that was me, and I made a mistake, and I did this, and I'm very sorry, I reacted in a bad way. Whatever the case is, I will say it was me. I have no issue with that. My ego is not I'm not an ego driven person. If I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong. I have no issue with that whatsoever, because I'm teachable. I'm understandable. I understand other people. I understand what they go through. I understand why they feel the way they feel, because I feel like the greatest form of love is understanding, is to understand somebody else. And that's where my clarity lives. That's why I don't leave people confused in my life. I don't leave anyone confused. I'm very, even if I'm hurt by somebody, I'll still show that I love them, because I love them. I mean, I'm not afraid to say that. It's that simple. If you live in that truth, you live in that truth. And if you don't, and you're suppressing it, or you're punishing somebody because they're not doing what you want them to do, that's not love. That's punishment. Like you're um, withholding on purpose. Does it make sense? How could you do that? Does it make sense? And that shouldn't be a standard any person should hold for themselves. I don't hold that standard for myself. I don't allow confusion into my life. You can call that ego all you want. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that's not an ego thing. That's a standard. That's a boundary that's being implemented, rightfully so. And it's not coming out of bitterness or resentment or confusion on my end. I have no confusion whatsoever. I know what I want, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to show it either. And so when you live like that, you want other people like that in your life. You don't want it's not something you understand, right? You don't understand when like I'm not even sugarcoating anything anymore. You just come to a place in your life where your peace is the most important thing. And protecting your peace should never be questioned and should never be questioned and turned into an ego problem or whatever people want to always say that I am. I'm probably, and I know this about myself. I know sometimes I come off a little strong or a little blunt or a little too much for some people and all these things. But and I mean this with the most respect and the most love and the most care ever in this whole entire world. I am who I am me. I'm not afraid to be me. And a lot of people love that. And if you don't love that, that's okay. I'm not going to force you to love it. If you don't if you can't if you can't love somebody in a way that's I don't know where I want to go with that, but if you can't or if you feel like you have to play a game to get what you want, or you have to, because I'm not like that. You can have me whenever. I mean, it's very easy. I'm a very easy person. I'm not somebody that needs to be like, you don't have to play a game with me. That's not love. It's not what I signed up for. Right? It's not something anybody that's mature and wants peace in their life signs up for. That's not what we want. Right? We don't want that. Nobody wants that. Nobody who values their peace wants to live like that. And that's why like living with intention every single day, making a goal for myself every single day, and expressing myself every single day is a necessity. So what I want to say really is like, if you care about somebody, say it. Say it to them. Because time wasted is really, you can never get it back. You can never get it back. So, on my end, I'm not playing any games. On my end, I'm just living and waiting for what's mine. And for what I for whatever God has written for me. And I just pray every day that it's a place of peace. Not easy, but a place of peace. Um and that's what clarity really means. It's just being clear about what you want, being clear about your boundaries, and being clear about who you are as a person. And then you'll never see clarity from the outside world. You see clarity in, okay, this is what this person rather do in this moment, and does that align with me or not? And you live in that truth. You live in your own truth. You live for you, and whatever is meant for you will be for you. So, with that being said, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for everyone who has supported me, who has loved me through this, who has just been a rock star in my life, and really support, and really just, I just really want people that really truly love me in my life. Because for me, there's no hesitation. Um, and I just hope, and I pray that God sends me those kind of people too. Um, so be clear on you, be clear on who you are, be clear on what you want in your life. And then clarity will never be something that with a question mark. Because you won't allow confusion into your life for another second, another day. You say it, express yourself, and be true. Say the truth. My mouth gets the best of me sometimes. It gets me in trouble so many times. Oh my God. It really does. And that's why sometimes when I feel emotionally overwhelmed, I don't talk at all. I just stay silent because God knows what the hell is going to come out of my mouth. And it's just like, okay, okay. Anybody that knows me is like, oh my God, just please don't say anything right now. Like, I'm the type of, sister that when something goes down, everyone's like, because I can't. Sometimes it's like hard. And that was like my biggest thing in my healing journey was teaching myself to just count to 10 before I react. And when I feel emotionally like overwhelmed or something, that's where I go. I go to silence and I stay quiet, especially when I'm hurt. And so it's just like a lot of back in but now it's like I've trained myself enough to know that I'm capable of doing holding myself together, doing what needs to be done, even when I don't want to. And so with that, I don't know where I was going with that, but it's just like I know now I can work and create beautifully and still while I'm overwhelmed or stressed out or doing and just doing a lot. Like you do a lot during your day and during my day at least, and your capacity grows with every single time you do something you don't feel like doing, you know, and you you gain extra clarity with what you are capable of doing. So clarity doesn't always come from the outside world. It comes from within. You give yourself that clarity. Like, can I do this right now? Am I capable of doing this right now? And then doing it anyways, and then proving to yourself that you are capable. That's how confidence grows. That's how you grow. And so that's why expression is so important. It's literally all over my work. Everything that I've learned was through expression. I mean, my journals were a form of expression for me. And I built my entire life's work on my journals and what I wrote in moments, you know, that I couldn't speak. And I chose to just dive in. There were days on my healing journey where I would just talk to my kids and talk to absolutely nobody else. And the only person I would talk to was through my journals and through my writing. And now I have my own rhythm. I have my own poetry. I have my own way of speaking. I have my own way of expression. I have my own way of dialogue. And it's all through being able to express myself in all forms with clarity. Even in anger, I have clarity in how I feel because I know how I feel. I don't have to get advice on how I feel. I don't understand that. I don't have to get opinions and all these other things too. You know, it's just clear. And so, yeah, we give ourselves our own clarity and we grow with every single time we give ourselves that clarity. Because if you can give yourself clarity, you won't need anybody else to make you feel good about something, right? Hello. So that's why it's so important. Learn to give yourself clarity. And then you're just like going to be ahead of everyone else because you become more decisive, you become more courageous, you become more brave, you become more excited about life, And you become you have more gratitude. um and then you don't waste your time with the confusion. Wasted time is just, it should be illegal. You shouldn't have to play a game to get what you want when you could be clear and just say it. you know it's really that easy. It's so easy. I don't understand why it's overcomplicated. It's that easy. Say it, and then you have everything. It's that easy. I swear to God. I swear to God, it's that easy. I want to thank everyone for coming in. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. Thank you for showing me love and showing me care and being by my side, holding my hand. And for the people that really, 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 truly, from the deep depths of their soul, love me, I love you even more. And, you know, I'm really excited about the future. I'm excited about my life. I'm excited about what I'm learning, and actually being able to make something out of it, right? To create something from the bottom to the top. And I'm excited to show it to the world in some kind of way. So, thank you all for coming in. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate your prayers, and I pray for you all always, always, always. Have a great day, and until next time, stay blessed.